for Pitts. Intercepted by Ray Hubble, who may go all the way again. He's going to be cut off near the sideline. He was tripped by a man standing in front of the Winnipeg bench.
First down, Edmonton with the football. McManus going up top for Eddie Brown. What a catch! Eddie Brown! Touchdown, Edmonton! Penalty markers down all over the field.
Illegal substitution, too many men on the field, Saskatchewan.
From 33 yards out to win the 97th Grey Cup. Ball down, ball through.
What up, football fans? It is the Football A podcast. We are back. Week 1 in the books. It went by too fast. And
It did.
And it went by way too fast. I'm not looking forward. One game a day for 4 days is actually incredible. And I thought it was awesome being able to look forward to football every night. That being said, far too fast of a weekend.
Yeah, see, at the beginning of the weekend, I was with you, and I said, wow, I love one game a day. I love being able to watch. But then I get to Saturday and Sunday, which during American football season, I plop my butt on the couch at 9 a.m. and I don't get up till well after midnight either day. I do the same thing the next day. I miss that here. I was waiting Saturday. I'm like, okay, Saskatchewan plays at 4. I got a game to watch before 4, and then I'll have a game at. No, I just have one game. I get it, but I didn't love it as much as I was expecting to on Wednesday night when I was preparing.
That's fair. I mean, like, yeah, you start to think about like, hey, like I got plans later. I can't really do anything. Like you can't, like you got to have a window. You got to be like done by like a half hour probably before the game to get, the snacks ready. I get everything ready to sit on the couch and watch the game. I get where you're coming from, but
I like having
yeah.
It makes the day. Football is my favorite thing in the whole world. I like having a whole day where I can enjoy football rather than I don't want to go grocery shopping and come home and watch football. I want to watch football all day.
No grocery shopping. I love that. I absolutely love that. But man, as much as I love the idea of football day, I love this weekend. The games started slow. And then the games got better, like each day. Absolutely incredible ball. And we're here to recap it for you. So let's just start with the opener. Thursday night, Grey Cup rematch. Montreal, Winnipeg. I can't believe I knew Montreal was going to win that game. I can't believe I didn't go down, put the money on the money line either. I just strictly went spread. Montreal, frankly, thrashes Winnipeg, but we got some great drama within the game. Reggie Stubblefield kind of gave a roll, Strevler, and the next play Stubblefield ACL, Gonski popped. So big piece of that really good Montreal defense done for the year. Sucks to see. His post on social media though seems like he's going to be ready for 2025, but Montreal loses a big piece of that defense. Bryce, tough one here, but Bryce something, I forgot the last name because the first name is so great, is in now for Stubblefield, and it didn't matter at that point. It was later in the game, and Montreal's defense was just so ready. Sean Lemon with the sack. Great game though.
Yeah, I was shocked to say the least. I figured it was going to be a good game. I did not think Montreal was going to beat the piss out of Winnipeg. I was not ready for Collaros to look like dog shit. Like Collaros looked bad for most of that game. Yeah, his stat line ended up pretty fine. I think I saw he's like 20 of 28 or something like that. Or hold on, let me pull it up.
It felt like
20 of 33, but he had no touchdowns.
Yeah.
Players usually, I just don't get it. Oliveira didn't have a great game. It was weird. I know they're putting the ball on the turf a lot. They're gonna do a lot of drills and practice this week of just holding the damn ball. But I don't.
Yeah,
it was weird. It was a weird week. I'm gonna chalk most of it up to week 1 jitters as I do with the entire week. We'll get to every mistake. I'm just chalking up to week one jitters, frankly. But we'll see.
Yeah, I know we were texting obviously during the game. It was funny. This week was full of like we did obviously the preseason future questions and stuff. This week was an interesting one. Phil Pott, who I was just clamoring over, goes 10 catches, 140 and 2 scores, and I felt like the smartest man alive. Marc-Antoine Dequoy, MAD, has an interception just in front, actually in the end zone, right? Just right in the front
It was
corner of
in
the end zone.
It might have been on like the one, but it was right there.
Yeah, right there. The geographic location, not that important, but yeah, MAD has an interception after I said he'd lead the league. So I was riding high Thursday. I had to look. This started out as us not knowing anything about the CFL, but I might know ball. I might have the league figured out right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that for you yet. We'll get there. If you keep picking at this rate across, 20, 21 weeks, then maybe. But I'm not gonna crown you after week one jitters. But yeah, that Dequoy pick was one of the worst decisions I've seen Caleros make in my short time watching. He was like rolling left and taking a hit, and he kind of threw off his platform. The one thing I've noticed is, do they not throw the ball away in this league? It seems like almost
They
there
really
were no
don't.
throws away. Like Calera, that was 100% of the time any decent NFL quarterback just chucks it out of bounds. But he didn't even flip his hips. He just chucked it as far as he could. It was underthrown by like 15 yards. Dequoy didn't even have to beat anybody to the ball. It was just there.
Yeah,
And it was the weirdest decision I've ever seen in my life.
he just hawked it, and yeah, I was surprised they didn't maybe let Strevler, because I know the announcers were saying about Winnipeg not a lot of preseason work and that kind of stuff, and like you said, first week a little jittery, getting the legs under you. So I mean, but Montreal, they were so prepared. I mean, to go from they were it was like the same line from the Grey Cup where they were underdogs. It was like 6.5, 7. Obviously won the Grey Cup outright. Win this game outright. I mean, double up and plus a field goal. Oliveira, 11 carries for 38 yards, just absolutely stymied. Obviously, Lemon, like I mentioned earlier, with a sack. And hey, that is a good, interesting point though about the not throwing out of bounds. I didn't even think of that until you just.
I didn't see it at all this weekend, and that one I saw it literally that first game, and I was like, why the heck did he not throw the ball away? And then every other game that I watched, I didn't see them throw away the ball once. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I was looking at my phone during that, or looking at something else, and I missed every single throwaway. But I didn't see a single one. I don't
The
know. Maybe
other,
that's a CFL thing.
yeah, it could be. I don't. Well, we'll have to wait on SBP, our guy. But I will say, a couple things for Winnipeg. Lawler gets hurt. Obviously, no Adam Bighill, who I think they said he was like 5th all time in CFL just tackles, which is insane. So obviously, 2 big pieces missing there. And of course, we had the chipped balls controversy. It was a great Thursday night. Was great. We had you're like opening football. The atmosphere was insane. Everybody, like, at least Montreal, came ready to play, and then you have Sergio missing wide, field goals, everything. I think both sides. I think did no, Cote was perfect, but yeah, Winnipeg, Sergio struggled. Then they make the rule. Yeah, you don't have to use the chip balls. Strevler, the crocodile tackle, the Stubblefield, then Stubblefield pops the ACL. Thursday night was just like, let's throw the whole book at you. It seemed like classic CFL. Just like, this game is gonna have everything. I loved it. It was a great game. Montreal, I mean, I got insane value on that Grey Cup pick. I've basically already spent the money. I mean, I may as well have. But I don't know how this team isn't ready to go back to back.
Guess we'll see. Also, shout out our boy Caleb Evans touchdown. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, redemption for the Grey Cup bull that they were pulling. I will say, if there's one thing about Montreal, I would like to have seen maybe a better running back. Losing Stanback, that was a big.
It's huge.
Yeah, Fletcher, plenty of potential. let's just say, to work out through the rest of the season. But yeah, the stand back, it was pretty glaring. Fajardo looked good though. I was
Yeah,
excited
if he
about.
keeps playing like that, they don't need stand back.
Minus that pick. That pick was was poorly timed. The group chat with us and SBP. We had a good little back and forth there. Because I think Caleros, did he just come up? Was it the Antoine Dequoy pick?
Yes,
And then then was it the next play or two plays later?
it was that drive for sure.
Yeah, it was that drive where I go. I go. Let's see here. I think I said Carlos Abam or Caleros Abam hate to see it, and then immediately Fajardo just right into the gut of Winnipeg, and you hit me back with Fajardo Abam hate to see it. So it was good. I felt bad for SBP being in the middle. He's a Winnipeg fan. So yeah, but game game one, Montreal gets the dub. They look they look very good.
Yeah, they do. They do.
I also had some general notes on my handy dandy notebook here. Let me see if they. Oh, the flea flicker. That was the other thing I wrote down in
Yeah,
this game. The flea flicker bomb to Philpott.
electric,
That
electric
was,
CFL game.
which led me to I had a note on. I had notes for the game, and then I had general notes. One of the general notes I wrote down was, "I love the deep ball. Just let it fly. Let's get it vertical." Um, let's see here.
I
I,
love it.
I I don't know if it was that game, but I wrote down the hot mics are awesome. I mean, we're getting
Oh yeah, we got the N word. We got a couple F bombs. It
F-bombs.
was a good
Yeah,
weekend.
it was incredible. All right, we can move on to the the Friday night game, which was Hammy the Hammer in Calgary. Uh, Calgary 32, Hamilton 24. Um, it, I was busy that night. I had a baseball game. I was pitching the lights out of the building. I texted you when we got done. It was halftime. I did in fact. This was awesome. Being able to go back and rewatch the game every play, and then being able to skip the commercials too made it 10 times faster. But we're gonna have the same issue this week as well. I'm gonna miss Friday. Actually, I should address this. Montreal plays on Friday. My Montreal Alouettes. I've decided that's my team. It just makes sense.
Wait for them to be Winnipeg, and then you pick them. Got it. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, look, it doesn't matter. They beat Winnipeg twice now. I think we all know in our heart of hearts, if you've listened since day one, I'm an L's guy. It's just how
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
it's how it's ended up. Anyways, I went right back and rewatched it, and the thing you texted me at halftime was Calgary was just flat out outplaying Hamilton. I go back and rewatch, and Hamilton had a too many men on the field penalty before the first snap of the game, and I was like, okay, Ant was exactly on.
You know what we call
Calgary,
that? You know what we
what
call that?
what?
Week one jitters.
We got week one jitters, baby. It's just week one. But yeah, it was like you said, it was almost strictly domination. I mean, Hamilton a little bit late,
Yeah,
a
they
little
made they
too
made a
late.
run late, but it felt like it was over.
And I thought they were I haven't seen anything on Mills, the Calgary running back, but he had the second best game behind his opponent or his on the other side, James Butler, who had 119 against the Calgary defense. Bo Levi, I mean, he went for 300 as well. And
I owe
obviously, I mean,
uh, I owe Jake Mayer an apology. Uh,
the girl
I
dad,
sure do. Some are saying that maybe he listens to the pod and he used that as motivation. Some are saying, I'm not saying, but some.
some may.
Yeah, I'm. It's possible I was slightly too harsh on him when I said that he stunk. He stinks. But I don't. Frankly, I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground here. One good game against Hamilton doesn't make him good. Many were saying that Hamilton was also bad. I was not in that camp. I was wrong again, believe it or not. But we'll see. I certainly for week one, I owe him an apology. He's
I
maybe not as bad as I gave him lack of credit for.
Hey, it takes a big man to do that, and you did it. So that speaks to the kind of person you are, just in general. In this game, Paredes, Renee, 6 of 6 after the um uh what's the word I'm looking for? The chip ball change. Uh, is it Legio? I'm not gonna pretend to pronounce that correctly. Goes 3 of 4. The one he missed though, Eric Brooks, Fresno State rookie in the league, took it like I don't know. I think the official was 87 yards because he missed it, and I don't think Calgary was able to score on that, but I'm excited about Brooks. I watch a lot of him with Jake Hayner and then Mikey Keene last year, so I'm excited that he's in the league. He's a pretty dynamic athlete as he showed as a returner, and then Mills too, the running back for Calgary, 13 for 87, along with obviously Meyer looking really good. That receiving core was interesting. Cam Eccles had the touchdown wide open. Clark Barnes, which is, I mean, it could be like Randy Smith is just about the only thing in the and as a melanin deficient person that sounds that kind of name, you know what I'm saying?
About as white as it gets.
Yeah, it's about as white as it gets. But he had a great game, 6 for 61 and a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, then like you said, I mean, Calgary's defense, I mean, we knew kind of with Awe, I think I was saying it wrong. The announcers were saying Awe, but Demario Houston, Cam Judge, obviously back there. Like I think this defense is going to keep Calgary in games, and if Jake Meyer is basically the Jake Meyer that we saw, I mean, 21 of 26, 250 and 2 touchdowns, probably not every game, but if he is that,
certainly not.
but if he is that every game, Calgary might be a sneaky one to watch this year. I think
it won't be that this week. Don't worry. We'll get there, but he's not doing that again.
We'll get there. And I mean, Tim White too, in my notes, the drop wide open on the goal line. Had his guy beat by 2.5, 3 steps. He drops that ball. Tim White didn't have a Tim White game. So you have to imagine that week 1 jitters will get out of there.
You're getting it, Hop.
I'm starting to figure this thing out just a little bit. But Bo Levi returned to Calgary too. That was a big storyline, obviously, and he was all right. Wasn't fantastic. Obviously, he had to start chucking. He had 38 attempts once they got down, especially early. So
cool moment for him to go back, but he could have played better.
Yeah, they kept showing the family in the stands and like the wife and everything. Those are always really cool moments. So yeah. I wish I had been a CFL guy longer so that I can appreciate these moments a little bit more. But it was still cool. You still got the gist.
We can appreciate him going forward.
Absolutely. I also wrote this down. Love the University of Calgary Stadium. They kind of have like that corner with the flags and the hill. That I loved that stadium just from the aesthetics of it. I don't know if you noticed anything with that, but I did.
It's a good stadium. Good stadium.
That'd be great.
I'll have to see it closer next time now that I know what I'm looking for. But.
Yeah, they just had some of those sunset shots, and I was like, golly, Calgary.
There you go.
Pretty cool. All right. Now we have the main event, if you will, for this podcast, who is an actual fan. Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
This one, I don't know if I even want to preface anything other than Saskatchewan 29, Edmonton 21. Incredible game. I'm just gonna let you go off, King.
Never a doubt. That's all I'll say. I was never worried. If you were to check me and Hop's texts back and forth, you would see that I never wavered. Certainly, I never said we're the worst team in the league. Those words never came out of my mouth. No. It was confident the whole time. Look, Trevor Harris had his ups and downs. Certainly had some bad plays in there, but I thought overall he was fine. Sean Bain Jr., best receiver in the league. That's all I'll say. Get your Tyson Philpott out of here. It's Sean Bain Jr. time. 3 touchdowns, 3 tied the franchise record. Not your little Tyson Philpott 2, 3. Which I might be an accountant, but I can tell you 3 is more than 2.
Wow.
All
that time
Thor did not have a great
numbers.
week. I'd like to see Thor bounce back better. I think he was like 18 for like 30 yards or something like that.
40.
Bad week. But look, I liked I picked Edmonton's defense to lead the league in sacks. I like Edmonton's defense just fine. Thor will bounce back against bad defenses for sure. Like say, for example, I think they play Hamilton this week. Some are saying that Thor's going to bounce back.
I
But
mean, yeah, with I will interject here with Mills had like 80 and then the
yeah,
backup came in late there. He had like 20 something on like 5 or 6 carries, I want to say. I think Thor's gonna be due.
we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, all that matters is 1-0. All that matters is that number in the win column. 1-0, and the Grey Cup DVD starts with a Sean Payton touchdown, I think.
I love it. That one the one that was on the right side of the goalpost going from left to right, just wide open, streaking
Yep.
down the field. I was like, all right. Trevor
When
Harris.
when it flipped, the one that it flipped, I think literally right before that, I texted you, we're the worst team in the league. Season's
Yeah.
over, and then I look up and Sean Payton's catching a wide open touchdown, and then like Edmonton fumbled, and then we scored again. All of a sudden, we were up, and I said, "Great cut back on."
I think that one, yeah, the Bain 40-yarder, I think was the one in the fourth there, like
Yeah.
almost like right away. I think that was when I wrote down the I love the deep ball.
Yeah.
I love the deep ball note, but
I love the beginning of this game, the first pass of the year. Did you watch the beginning of the game? Literally
mm,
the first play that Saskatchewan had on the year, Trevor Harris threw it like 40 yards downfield. I loved it. I was
yeah,
all about it. Corey Mace, the absolute king. And just again, some words were said in the chat. We don't gotta go over those, but Corey Mace is that guy.
I love it. Yeah, they played well. The Saskatchewan defense was just about as advertised. I mean, there was a point where I was like, when Harris threw the second pick and it was looking bleak, I was like, well, maybe SSK should trade for Trey Ford, but
Did say that.
I did say that. I wasn't overly impressed with MBT. Goes 33 of 42, 336, 2 tutties and a pick. The run game wasn't there. Brown only goes, I think he was second in the league last year with like 1,300 yards, goes 7 carries, 23 yards. Might want to just maybe, I don't know, give the good running back the ball a couple more times. But hey, what do I know?
I thought MBT looked good. I'm on the opposite side of you there. I mean, obviously, a little time away, but I thought he looked pretty good. But like you said, Saskatchewan's defense pretty good. Again, we're not the best in the league or anything, but we're pretty good.
Yeah,
I thought he looked good.
this actually the your point about MBT is something though that I'm hoping to look and get better at with this year, like some of the actual philosophy stuff, philosophical stuff when it comes to offensive coordinators and that kind of stuff. Because like right now, it's kind of like hockey where I'm just following the puck and the ball, where I'm trying to still get used to my eyes and my brain still hasn't fully adjusted to the 3 downs.
Yep.
Where I'm like, all right, like I caught myself a couple times where I was like, why would you run on first down there? And I was like, hey, you're picking up on it. And then there was other times where it was like incomplete on 2nd and 6. I was like, they'll be fine. And then if they're punting, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an idiot.
I do the same thing. It's like 2nd and 5, and they throw the ball. I'm like, just run it. Take your 3 yards. You got 3rd and 2. You're set up perfect.
Yeah.
No, I never get that. There's like 3rd and 1, and the punt team comes on. I start screaming at my TV. What are we doing here? Still got another down.
There's more time, but yeah, the Brown. Well, yeah, Brown fumbles too late there in the 4th after SSK is making the comeback, and they obviously end up scoring again. And then as SSK is trying to run the clock out, Thor lets it just go right on the turf, and you were
not the best moment.
no, you had to be shaking a little.
Never a doubt. I said that. Never a doubt.
Never a doubt. I did also have SSK money line, so I was feeling great once they figured it out and Harris started really chucking it around. So I started my weekend 3-0, but that would come to a close last night on Sunday. Toronto at home over BC 35-27. Another great game. I mean, obviously, like SSK and Edmonton was like back and forth for a sec, and Toronto comes out of halftime and frankly dominates, only gives up 7 points in the second half. Shout out everybody, all 4 games with a Rouge at some point. I absolutely loved it. That made me happy. People, I don't know if the CFL is like numb to it. I don't know how long it's been a rule. Probably, I would assume forever. But every time there's one, I really don't care. I love it. I have to enjoy it because it's something a little bit different. I believe that this league is like the future. Like, I think this is the NFL wants to be the CFL, and that can be a diatribe for another time because we got to talk about the game. But yeah, I love the Rouge, and I think the CFL announcers should appreciate it more. But it's probably, like I said, it's probably been around too long to do that. VA defense, I mean, I don't know. It was kind of a double-edged sword. VA not taking care of the ball, ended with 363 and 2 touchdowns, 25 yards on the ground as well. But yeah, Toronto, and BC had a fumble in the first half, return for a touchdown. I thought Dukes was Dookie, and then all of a sudden, second half comes around and he is all world.
He balled out in the second half. It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was absolutely. It was the last, even less expected than Caleros looking like a bum was that dude being, like you said, all world in the second half of that game.
Yeah, ended with 21 of 27, 254, 3 scores. Did not turn the ball over. Kadeem Carey was 16 for 65, respectable. Dukes obviously added the rushing touchdown as well. 37 total yards on the ground, so just short of 300 total for him. I loved Makai Polk, Mississippi State kid. They were spreading the ball around. They had, let's see, that's 4 different guys. They had 4 different guys with 3 or more catches, and then 3 other guys with 2 or more. So Duke's just finding the open guy, really. The defense, I don't know, man. The defense was really good. They had, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 total sacks. Obviously, a few of them came late as VA, kind of desperation time in the last 3 minutes after the 3-minute warning. Jared Brinkman and was it Serezna? Yeah, Jake Serezna were awesome on the defensive line, which is interesting to see after your boy Corey Mace leaves there, takes the head coaching gig at SSK, and Toronto still played great. I mean, the defense only really gave up 20 points because of the fumble recovery.
Yep. Yeah, Toronto looked awesome. I'm truly blown away. Like, they were down there for me without Chad Kelly. They were down there with the likes of Calgary and Ottawa, which we'll get to Ottawa later. But they were down there with the teams that I thought stunk. And I just apparently I don't know ball. At least I don't know CFL ball yet.
I thought BC was going to win and cover pretty handily. And I mean, you would, in a game where if you said, hey, BC is a favorite by almost a full major, and VA is going to have 360 passing yards, you're going to be like, wow, they probably absolutely dominated them. And then obviously they lose the ball game because he couldn't hang on to the ball. But Kadeem Carey also, I mean, 4 catches, 40 yards, and a score too. He got the scoring started there for Toronto. So he was awesome. He is so good. I'm glad that it didn't work out with the Bears because I was very worried about that. I loved him at Arizona. He is somebody that I would love to have on this podcast sometime because I'm enamored with Kadeem Carey, and that's something that I've been steadfast on since his time in college football. So the other thing that I noted for this game, BC has not won in Toronto since 2019. I love those kinds of stats personally. So if anybody else has them and can feed me like the longest losing streak, like I love college basketball. We haven't I think it's and like I know one for college football, my Wisconsin Badgers haven't lost to Purdue since like 2000. And like look, most years we play, but especially those college basketball ones where you might play like every other year against a team, and it's like, all right, well, you're like 10-0 against them in the last 10, but that's spanned 22 years or something like that. I love those stats. So if anybody has good streaks like that, please let me know. I would love a list of those.
Those haunt me a little bit. I have, unfortunately, a lot of those with my NFL team, the Browns. I think they haven't won in Pittsburgh since like 2002 or 2004, something crazy. At least regular season, they haven't.
Right.
It's been, yeah. It's just those haunt me a little bit. But for your sake, send them to Hop, not me, because
Yeah.
they're gonna get PTSD if I look at too many of them.
Leave Ant out of it, but yeah, I love the hot mics. I love the deep ball. The running back screens. That was big. I
I
noticed
saw
a lot of
of
that.
a lot more wide receiver screens than I was expecting. There was during the Saskatchewan Edmonton game. I laughed out loud because there was like McLeod Bell Thompson threw a wide receiver screen and it went for yards, but there was a penalty, so they called it back. And he threw another one to the same exact play right after, and they got some yards. And then it was second down, and they threw another one, the exact same play 3 times in a row. I laughed out loud. There were more than I was expecting.
To bring up with your SSK Edmonton game was we had the preseason question about the return kickoffs and obviously the James Letchard challenge, but both teams had a punt return for a touchdown that got called back.
Yep.
So we still have 0 returns for touchdowns. Both teams had one, so that was a bummer. But
Alford looked great. Alford almost broke a couple and then broke the one. He looked awesome. I'm juiced. I'm juiced.
You have every right to be. The squads looked pretty good. It was a great first week, but that means we have to hold on here. Let me do it. We have to turn not only the proverbial but the literal page.
Wow.
To week 2. Who would have thought? With my handy dandy notebook here. Thursday night, Winnipeg in Ottawa. You want to take it here?
I'll take it first. All
right, fair enough.
I've declared war on the Ottawa Red Blacks for this season. I think, as I've stated multiple times last week, they stink. They are the worst team in the league. It's not close. They have the worst quarter. Now that I've seen Cam Dukes play and played pretty good, I'm going to declare they have the worst quarterback in the league, handily.
Wow.
Levi Mitchell, get out of the way. Worst quarter. Jake Meyer, get out of the way. Worst quarterback in the league. I think they're bad. I think true. Winnipeg looked like garbage this week. I said it. Caleros stunk. They couldn't hold the ball. Ottawa is worse than the worst version of Winnipeg is better than Ottawa. I'm taking Winnipeg handily. I'm Winnipeg minus double digits. Winnipeg minus 10.
Give them the alternate spread.
Yeah, alternate spread. Winnipeg minus 10. Ottawa stinks. I don't care that they're at home. I don't care that they had extra week of rest. They stink.
Yeah, Winnipeg minus 7 is the current line. I'm gonna take that. I also see via FanDuel right now. I see their total points at 27.5 plus money plus 104, just slightly. I think that's probably an auto smash.
Over 27.5 is plus money
for Winnipeg team total.
Oh, Winnipeg team total. I was like, oh my god.
No, yeah, sorry,
why
yeah.
on earth is that plus money? Winnipeg scores 27 by themselves.
Yeah. The over under for the game is 46.5.
Okay,
I might be tempted to go. Well,
you gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think that's probably both what the plays are going to be. I should probably write that down so I don't forget to take that later, because I think Winnipeg, especially after that first game, sounds like Big Hill is going to be back on defense, even if there's no Kenny Lawler this week. Yeah, I think Winnipeg is gonna just
the jitters are gone. There's no week 1 jitters for Winnipeg. There are week 1 jitters for Ottawa.
Ooh,
add in
good
that
point.
They stink. I know we didn't do score predictions last week, but if we're doing score predictions,
he's let him get close.
Score predictions are weird in the CFL because they have Like the 27-12, I think would be scoregami in the NFL. It's just a weird
Probably.
score. Whatever, just all the scores are just weird. 32-24, I think was Hamilton Calgary, or Calgary Hamilton. I think it's gonna be something like, I'm gonna put it in NFL terms, 38-17, around
Ooh.
there, but with CFL weird score. So like 37-20, something like that, but with no field goals somehow.
I
Something
would
weird like that.
my ideal situation for this game would be like Winnipeg like 31-4, and it's just four singles
That'd be
for
4 Rouges.
yeah.
Oh, that would be amazing. If I could have a game where the famous for American college football is Iowa Penn State 6-4.
Yeah.
If we could have a game, please, Snack Bites Pete or anybody else, tell us, has there ever been a game where the only points scored were Rouges? Is that possible? Has that ever happened? Certainly. I mean, there's been NFL games that go to overtime 0-0. There
Yeah.
has to be a game where the only score was Rouges, and I need to know what that game was so I can rewatch it every day.
Was it it was Virginia Tech and somebody, I think it was
Yeah,
Beamer,
that
right?
was
The
yeah,
famous 0-0 tie.
Frank Beamer like going hype because they got the double overtime 0-0.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that one. So that'll be Thursday night's game.
Both on
Likely a Blue Bomber special on
both.
Ottawa. Friday night, I'll miss this one. My Montreal Alouettes go
Wow,
to
big
Edmonton.
fan.
Huge
See,
fan.
first game as a fan, he was like, I got plans.
It's
Okay,
dude,
dude.
I got a pitch. I don't know what you
Okay,
want from me.
dude.
I gotta go 9 strong for my squad so we can make the playoffs.
Huge fan.
Minus 6.5 is what I'm seeing here for Montreal. I think they probably cover. They're hot. Edmonton, the defense is so good. I don't think Edmonton 6.5 feels like a. I mean, I know we had a couple games of 8 this week. 6.5 just feels like a lot in the CFL because it feels like you could get a weird Rouge or like field goal, especially in that last 3 minutes. But I'm probably gonna take. Yeah, I'm definitely taking Montreal minus 6.5.
Okay. Look, I'm in a couple NFL polls. We're in a couple for the CFL, but it's essentially every week you pick against the spread. And where I struggle is I form my opinions in the preseason, and and no matter what happens, I stick with them the entire like what was it, 3 years ago when the Tom Brady's last year with the Bucks. I said preseason the Bucks are going to be good. I think they went like 9-8. They weren't good that year. I don't know if you remember.
It's like 9-7, I think.
Every
Yeah,
single week
whatever.
I pick them because I can't help myself because I said, "Oh, they have Tom Brady. They're the Bucks. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to
Yeah.
pick." And they won like 3 games against the spread that year. I can't help it. I'm going to do the same thing in the CFL. I'm digging my heels in. I'm digging my heels in on everything across the board until I
Hey,
need at
you got to
least
stand
4
for
weeks.
something.
I need at least 4 weeks where I'm proven wrong. I think Edmonton hangs in there. I thought Edmonton looked really good last week. And I said Montreal was going to be good. I did not say they were going to be the best team in the league. I don't think they're going to be the best team in the league. I'm going to dig my heels in on Montreal, but then look at what Edmonton did last week against a really, really good Saskatchewan Roughriders.
It's very good. Which win, by the way, first win for you as a fan last week.
First win for me
Congrats.
as a fan, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I think Edmonton looked good last week, so I think they dig in. I think Montreal wins. I want that on record, but Edmonton keeps it close. Maybe Montreal by 4. That's feeling good.
Wow, there you go again. Yeah.
For me for this one, 24-20.
Oh, wow. Have a day, kid, that you'd be on the side of the under. Your model says you're on the under. I'm going to take Montreal by 7 or 6.5. Need 7. I just think if Bethel Thompson's going to be hucking it, that secondary is probably too good. That'll be a good matchup, and probably what is going to decide the ball game is if MBT can spread the ball around. I know no Stubblefield, but I think Dequoy, the rest of that team, too good, especially in the secondary.
Don't air it out over the top where Dequoy can go get it. If you keep everything short in front of you, DBs can't play it as hard. I'm taking it. I think
That's true.
MBT.
Look at that. There you go. That'll be Friday night. Saturday evening, Calgary heads to BC.
Yeah.
8.5. 8.5 is the line that I am seeing. I frankly don't know how you can. The problem is, this is credit to whatever the Vegas of Canada is. We never got clarification on that, but this is a really good line. VA obviously great game against I don't know, the turnover
Not a-
issues against Toronto.
Not a great game.
Calgary's defense I think is probably just as good.
No.
I do. I'm going to take Calgary plus 8.5. That's far too many points. We saw 2 games by 8. I got to go 8.5 here.
This is my true dig the heels in game. I said last week that Calgary stunk, and then they beat a team that I said was better. And then I said BC might be the best team in the league, and they're playing a bad Toronto team, and then Toronto won. And I look like an idiot in both games. So the logic would tell you that I flipped, but I'm not going to do that. I'm
No,
going to
why
dig
would
in
you?
even further. Even further. BC was only bad because of week 1 jitters, and Jake Meyer got lucky.
Okay.
That's my take. I'm smashing BC plus 8.5 or minus 8. Obviously, I'm going to smash BC plus 8.5. BC minus 8. I'm smashing. Yeah.
Nothing like minus
Alternate line
3,000
BC
odds on
plus
that.
15.
BC plus 8.5 minus 4,000. You could put $4,000 to win like 10 or whatever it is, 100.
I'm taking them. I'm taking the minus points. I don't think this will be as big of a spread as, say, Winnipeg against the true worst team in the league, but I think this will be a big spread. I think it's similar. Probably something like 30. Let's go 32-18 final score. That's my prediction. 32-18 BC.
All right, I can get behind that. Then lastly, you'll have to wait all weekend till Sunday night. Saskatchewan on the road again, goes to the Hamilton, plus 1.5. I think this one's gonna be close, but I like Saskatchewan too much. I think they'll take it.
This is tough for me. I said last week, I said I think Hamilton's good, and then they look like garbage. I'm gonna make a take, and you can tell me that I'm wrong. I probably am wrong. I've been wrong a lot this week in regards to the CFL. I think Edmonton is better than Hamilton. And so if Edmonton's better than Hamilton and Saskatchewan beat Edmonton, logic tells you obviously transitive property is not 1-for-1 in football. It just doesn't work like that.
Well,
But I think Saskatchewan. Why do people keep doubting us? We're the underdog again against Hamilton? Just look like garbage against Calgary. They let Jake Meyer do that to them, and now they play Trevor Harris and Sean Bain Jr. No, I'm sick of the disrespect. On behalf of Corey Mace, Corey Mace, if you're listening, just like Jake Meyer does, take this as disrespect. We should not be underdogs. I'm going to take Saskatchewan -1, alternate line, Saskatchewan -1.5.
wow.
Not that that's some crazy take. That's essentially just a win because they're almost certainly not going to win by 1. But I'm gonna brand it as this bold take where I'm flipping the line. Saskatchewan -1.5.
I love that out of you. Yeah, I'm going to take Saskatchewan. I think we talked about Hamilton's defense being a little too leaky to the running back. They have the hard-nosed, obviously, Alette. He fumbles at the end of the game last week. Could have cost the team the game. Defense stood the test. Bain is insane. Ooh, look at that.
Thor's back this week. I know we already talked about it. Thor's revitalized. I think he's going for 75. Bain's getting another touchdown. We're having a day.
I do want to pose this though, and I find this interesting, and I'd love more numbers on this if possible. 3 of the 4 games, the road team was a road team in week 1. I believe. Yeah. No, Winnipeg. So 2 of the 4.
Montreal was road.
Montreal and Saskatchewan. So I'll be very interested to see what that looks like, and if there's like how second of back-to-back NBA games. I mean, I know that's not the same thing, but Canada's a big country, similar to the U.S. Long flights, that kind of stuff. I'd be very interested to see what the second road game in a row stats look like. So if somebody
That
has
is
those,
true.
I'd
That
love to
is
get
true.
those provided. But
Granted, if I'm again, Canada geography is not exactly my strong suit. I'm certainly getting better. The trip from Saskatchewan, I believe that they're in Regina.
mm,
The trip from Regina to Edmonton is not that far, at least comparatively to most of these. So like obviously
yes,
when BC goes to Hamilton, that's a hike and a half. But
one half.
Saskatchewan to Hamilton or Saskatchewan to Edmonton, not that far. I, in my head at least.
Yeah,
So again, tell me if I'm wrong, but there's travel, but it's like Cleveland going to Pittsburgh, that's a road game. But then if we're going to LA the next week,
right.
the trip to Pittsburgh doesn't really affect us as like a road game environment. So that's
I,
my take. I don't know if it's the same, but
I'd love to know more. I'm surprised you're not going to this one. Hamilton, I think, is geographically the closest team for both of us.
I
Uh,
I have plans. Although like work is tough. Where if this game was
it's
Saturday, I'd
true.
probably go. I cannot go to a Sunday night game in Canada and then get to work Monday morning at 6 a.m. It's just not something that I can do.
That's a fair point. I probably that's a fair point. They really screwed you on the books there, but
Yeah, if this
oh,
was Saturday, I'm there. And then I think they play Toronto. Certainly, they play Toronto later this year. They play Toronto on a Thursday, which again,
oh
how can you
no.
expect me to go to that on Thursday and then make it to work on Friday? They really screwed me on schedules here. I won't lie, but I'm gonna make it happen.
I love it. We're gonna make it happen here, hopefully this week as well. Great week. Did we give are we just both on Saskatchewan plus 1.5 then?
I'm
Or
on
no?
-1.5, but yes.
Oh yeah, fine. You can do that for the show. I think this are the standings. I'm 3-1. What were the standings for you for the betting?
Yeah, don't worry about it. We don't got to go over that one. Look, there's a lot of season left. A lot of season. I think there's 21 weeks, which means 4 games a week. 20 more, 80 more picks, and I'm only 2 games back of you. I'm 1-3.
Oh,
The way I look at it, I'm 2 games back with 80 left. There's, don't even. We're
statistically
not even talking about it yet.
statistically alive still.
Statistically, just barely in the hunt is what I'm saying.
I love. I'm gonna do the math. I'm gonna figure out your magic number. It's probably like 700.
Your magic number is like 180.
Yeah. Oh man, I love this podcast so much, everybody. Thank you for listening. We're hoping for a little surprise this week, so we'll tease that here. If you hear a surprise after this, great. If you don't, just know I tried. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been the Football 8 podcast. We will see you after week 2.
See you guys.
Awesome.